All right. Hello, tea family. How are you this evening? I hope everything is going well. Um, Hang on, we got a technical glitch. Okay, so we should be still going fine. I wanted to talk to you all tonight and say hello. We're going to be talking about holiday blend, and I want you to say hello. Let me know that you're there and that that you are what you're drinking tonight. Sorry, lost track. Had another technical glitch and I could hear an echo and it was really distracting. All right. So we're going to be talking about holiday blend tonight. That is one of our seasonal blends. Say hello. Let us know that you're there. Let us know what you're drinking tonight or today. If you're watching it on the replay, if you are watching it on the replay, welcome to the replay. All right. We are going to move forward and talk about what makes this holiday blend so very, very special. And let's start with the star. It is oolong tea. It's partially oxidized, halfway between a black tea and a green tea, which means really for you get to have a smooth flavor without the bitterness and is actually really pretty perfect for holiday blends. Now, this particular oolong that we have here, let me show it to you again. You can see those nice big leaves in there. Uh, they're rolled very, very tightly, but they don't have the smoky notes that we did earlier when we were doing our Halloween quarterly in September when I made some oolongs up that had more of a smoky feel for it. This is not going to have that one. So, and fun fact about oolong leaves, some get rolled so tightly that once they hit the hot water, they pop open like little flowers. And it's kind of a fun thing to watch if you ever watch the top of your tea when that happens. So the next, as you can see in the color, is cranberries. So this is freeze-dried fruit. We freeze-dry the cranberries ourselves, but this is one of my favorite holiday fruits. Doesn't have any added sugar, no coloring. It's just got that natural sweetness, but with a tartness, and it's one of my favorite flavors of the season. FYI, if you freeze-dried cranberries, when you rehydrate them, they are safe to eat afterwards. So one of the things that I always tell people is, you can brew it 3 times. And then my handy dandy assistant, who is also here this evening, he will often also tell you that you could eat it afterwards. Diana's here. She's having a ghost bag hot. Kim is trying White Friday special tonight. I love that. Yay. You'll have to let us know, Kim, once you actually start sipping it, what you think of it. So the cranberries, they are in any of the freeze-dried fruit, you can actually pick it out and eat it. There's nothing in our tea blends that you can't actually eat after you're done with brews. I always tell people, no, I don't know, you could. And have I taken a piece of the fruit out of the tea that's waiting for a second or a third steep and popped it in my mouth and eaten it? Absolutely. It's one of the best parts about having just real all natural ingredients. All right. And then we've got orange zest. That's really going to add some aromatics. It's going to kind of lift the blend, but really one of the things is the vanilla bean, because that's going to add a smoothness. It's going to balance the tartness of the cranberries. It also kind of makes your kitchen smell like you've been baking. In fact, I'm right here, right under this. All right. Betsy says it smells amazing. Hello, Stephanie. I've got it right here. So it's not that far away. I mean, I don't know, what's that, 6 inches away from my nose. And I can smell the tea so much. Let's see. Stephanie has appealing this evening. Awesome. Awesome. All right. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to, let me show you this. So that's what it is. And you'll notice some of our bags have different colors. Yes. We typically have like a grayish black for our black teas. We have a green for our green teas. We have a aqua turquoise color, kind of the known as color for our herbal blends. But then you'll notice some that have this. And a lot of them are holiday blends, or they're blends that don't match any of the other colors. For instance, they're not a black tea, but they're not a green tea like an oolong or something like that. And so you'll notice they have this kind of reddish label, FYI. So I'm going to put that over there. And now, because you have the freeze-dried cranberry, and the freeze-dried cranberries tend to be bigger in pieces, I always suggest that you go with a rounded spoon because there's a lot of volume, but not a lot of weight. So you got a nice rounded spoon. We'll put it in there. Now I am going to kind of show you, you see how little that takes up right now? It's really just a little bit, but we're going to watch that expand later. All right. Love these perfect spoons. They're really helpful. There are times where I just use the spoon. I don't weigh it out or anything like that. I know pretty much where it needs to be because I like using them. Anything that helps me with that as I roll over here for a second. All right. Now this is an oolong tea. So we're actually going to, if I could get 3 minutes on the clock, please. So 3 brews. And I have the water not quite boiling. The water is just about 185 to 190. So just a little bit below boiling. And that's because we want to be in between that green tea and the black tea. Now, if you have forgotten that and you went ahead and you boiled the water, it's okay. Let the water sit for a little bit. But one of the things you might find is that oolong blend becomes a little bit bitter. That's because the water temperature was a little bit too high and it burned some of the tea. So again, the rounded teaspoon that you saw, then trying to get that temperature, brew it, let it sit for a second, lower the temperature. You shouldn't get that bitterness. Now, we've got 3 minutes on the clock. You're going to see it makes a beautiful color as well. And I will sip that as soon as I can. Let's see. The other thing that I have to sit under it is I have my mug rug, my holiday mug rug that just got finished here. I'm going to put it over on this side, which goes perfectly with my Christmas cup right here. You notice, like, just one of those fun things. All right. Did you know that vanilla beans actually come from an orchid? Sorry. And it is the world's only fruit producing orchid. And each blossom blooms for just a single day, one day. If it's not pollinated on that one day, there's not going to be a vanilla bean. And so that was one of the reasons why vanilla is so precarious between temperature and moisture and so many other things that it has to be pollinated on the correct day. And we like vanilla in a lot of our baking goods and in some of our teas and things like that. So, all right. Like I'm ready to drink some tea because I can smell it and I can't drink it because it's not quite ready yet. Okay. So one of the things that I do enjoy about our holiday blends and this particular one is that anytime we have a reason to kind of slow down and savor something unique and different, especially when the rest of the world is going crazy, but having that sit down and noticing the flavors and taking a second, being mindful over our cup of tea. We've talked about that before. Well, that just allows us to really sit back and notice the season and think about what the season is for and the purpose behind the season, and not just rush through things, gifts and events and tasks. And I have to do this and I have to do that. I know some good friends of mine are rushing because they have an open house on Friday and they're pre-baking and they're pre-planning and I have to go to the grocery store and I have to do this. But sometimes when you have that cup of tea, the idea is to sit down, be present in the moment, relax, and just enjoy the moment. The list will still be there in a minute. You'll still get everything done, or you won't. It'll all be fine. But it is one of those things that's one of the reasons why tea brings me so much joy, to talking to people about it and enjoying sharing that, but also having that moment of relaxation and rest in it. So Diane did not know about the vanilla. I love that. I love surprising you with different things. Okay. Now I am going to move my mug rug out because this will drip a little bit and I don't want to get it on there. Now, I don't know if you can see how much bigger that is, but It's really dark in there. I can't even see it really well, but everything has expanded. I used one this time that was really kind of skinny to fit in the smaller cup. But look at the color of that tea, and I'm trying not to spill it on my keyboard, but look at the color of that beautiful kind of cranberry, darker color. I love that part. Okay. Wow. All the flavors just kind of burst onto your tongue with this one. And you just get to sit back and enjoy. Love it. Love it. Okay. So, what would we pair this with? Obviously, fresh scones, Christmas cookies, a cheese board, those are typical things. But I want everybody to put in the chat or the comments something you would pair with this tea. We kind of talked about what's in it, and I've gone over tea pairings quite a bit in the past. So let me see some of your ideas. Meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and talk about a couple myself. Obviously, cranberry orange scones would be perfect. The citrus is going to kind of echo that. The orange zest is going to echo the orange. The cranberry is going to echo the cranberries. It's going to brighten it up, add that sweetness, the vanilla that you'll typically see in those kind of things. That's all pretty traditional. So, okay. Just checking back to see if there are any comments of what you would pair with this tea. I'm going to kind of go through some of the traditional ones. Let's see. What else would I pair with this tea? Almond biscotti. The nutty notes are going to blend really, really well with this. Let's see. What else would I blend? Honey glazed ham or turkey. There's a reason why it's our holiday blend. And one of the reasons is that it is perfect for the holiday season and typically things that people would eat there. Orange cranberry muffins. Yes, Diane. I mean, like that is absolutely spot on. You're going to have a lot of complementary flavors in there. Typical shortbread cookies, vanilla cookies. Those would be kind of more traditional. Anybody else? Put it in the chat or the comments. So dessert pairings, this is where you could go with an orange mascarpone tart. You're going to have the creamy filling that's going to match with the vanilla. The citrus notes are going to mirror the orange zest. The silkiness is going to kind of contrast with some of the cranberry. Creme brulee, this is always a good choice. Creme brulee. About as French as I'm going to get by saying that. This is one where you could do some roasted root vegetables with maple and thyme. That would be good. Or a cranberry orange wild rice pilaf. Now, I basically for these, Betsy says it's really good. All right. Well, we've got one thumbs up on it. I wanted to kind of talk about a couple of pairings that were a little more unusual. Does anybody else have a pairing that they would add in there? Move this back over here so you can see. But well, what I'm going to say is might not be as normal as most people say, but like a goat cheese and like an orange blossom honey crostini kind of, the crostini with the garlic and then a little bit of sweetness added in for the honey, and then orange blossom honey specifically would really pick up some of the notes in the tea. But the goat cheese, the tang of the goat cheese is going to really enhance the cranberry flavors. The creamy and fruity contrasting, that would be it. Okay, I keep checking to see if there's any more comments in there. Another one would be like a smoked salmon would do really, really well and bring out some more notes of the oxidation of the oolong tea itself. And again, especially if you had like a citrus creme or something on that idea. So a white cheddar popcorn for those of you that are not going to we're talking the heavy meals, and that's just as simple as some fresh popcorn, maybe with a little bit of butter and some white cheddar seasoning, or you could go old school and just grate just a really fine grated cheese over it, enough to give you a little bit. I would probably say not just a traditional mild or medium cheddar. I would go whole hog and go sharp or extra sharp cheddar. For those of us that grew up in New England, really close, especially those close to or in Vermont, who know that extra sharp cheddar cheese that not everybody enjoys, that's really going to have a great counterpoint to this tea. All right. And then let's see. A dark chocolate with kind of some candied ginger and some other citrus peel. It doesn't have to be orange. It could be lemon. It could even be lime. Um, I would stay away from like bergamot, but like some of the peel you could put in there, but like the dark chocolate. So this is going to have some brightness to it, some acidity to it, especially with the cranberries. And that matching with the dark chocolate and the ginger and the sweetness is really going to awaken all your senses and allow you to taste so many things that it will be very, very exciting and yummy for you. Let's see. All right, the sharper the better. See, Diane, I agree. The sharper the cheese, the better. That is always my thing. So where are we? Did anybody else come up with any other options for food pairings or things they might want to pair it with? Now, while you're doing that, I didn't make a mocktail tonight, and that's because it was snowing ever since I came home from church this morning. We've had flaking, and it's really cold. It's supposed to be in the teens tonight where I am, so I wanted something hot. But this is a tea that's very versatile for mocktails because you have a lot of notes of the season, and you can add some creaminess to it with a milky foam. You could go on the other direction and add some more citrus notes. You could add in some cinnamon notes. You could add in some chai notes. So this is your very, very versatile for mocktails because you have so many flavors in there already, and they're only going to enhance other flavors. So I would say this one I would put. This is one where I would tend to fall more when adding bubbly to my tea mocktail. I would do more of the ginger ale. This would also be great if you were doing a real mimosa or a fake mimosa. So if you were having that kind of orange juice with the tea and then adding some ginger ale or sparkling water in it, that's going to be an amazing flavor. And if you layer it, you could put one on the bottom. So I would typically put the tea on the bottom, and then I would pour carefully the orange juice on top. I want to say that's how I typically really do it. And then stick, whatever you want to dress it up with your little things on the side. But the color will start to fade in, and you'll go from the dark tea. And this is where it's fun if you do it in a clear glass, so you can kind of see how it goes. You'll have kind of the reddish color of the cranberry tea on the bottom. Then you'll have a mix in the middle, and then you'll have kind of the orange juice on the top. And when I made that, the other thing I would do is I would add the ginger ale. I would add this tea and then the ginger ale and then the orange juice on top, so it doesn't get all mixed in. Yes. So it's okay to play with my. It is okay to play with your. So handy dandy assistant asked if it's okay to play with this food now. I would say in limited ways it would be okay. Okay. I did want to try and talk about a couple of other things while we are here. And that is, I wanted to remind everybody, tomorrow is the last day of our Black Friday specials. So some of you have already enjoyed some of your free gifts and some of your other specials. The mystery bag is, I think it's like 55.4 or 54 point something percent off. It has over $55 worth of items in it, and you can get it for $25. That is one of those things, but it all ends tomorrow. And technically, I want to make sure I pull the right one. Technically, appealing ends today. Today is the last day of appealing. I will probably leave it on for tomorrow just so because it also matches with the last day of the sale. But tomorrow is December 1st. And as you recall, Peeling is September, October, and November. I do have a couple of bags that are still made for this season, and so we'll probably have it at our Chris Kindle market that we are going to on Saturday. But last call for a peeling, and then it goes back in the recipe vault until next year when we start to make it again. And I know that this is a very popular one. I actually kind of wanted to have it tonight, but now that I'm drinking my holiday, I am enjoying it. But I wanted to make sure I talked about appealing ends today. It is November 30th, although I did try and talk to some of the ladies, and I was thinking it was December 1st already, and they were like, no, that's tomorrow. And I was like, good, that gives me an extra Sunday to get ready for potluck. Okay, Kim says the white Friday tea is good, smells great, pretty color, mild flavor. Yep, and that's what we were going for. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Kim, very, very much. It has the fruity notes to it, but it is not supposed to be a fruit tea. It is supposed to be just a white tea with some fruit in there, but just really mild, calming. After all, Black Friday weekend is typically very chaotic because you're coming off of Thanksgiving and a lot of people are it's the start of the season. And I know there's a lot going on. And so we wanted to go with a more white tea, mellow tea kind of a thing. So I'm glad you liked it. That's 2 yeses so far, plus our testers who had tested it. I did have to say I was interested in the opinions of like Betsy and Kim who were drinking it tonight once I found out they were, because we used a different set of testers so that it could be a surprise to my testers. And also because I couldn't see everybody because we were away at an event when it was being tested and created. Nope, we don't need to add any of that. Handy dandy assistant, we don't need to add any of that. Okay, anybody have any questions for me about holiday or the peeling or anything else tea related questions, handy dandy assistant? Otherwise anything could go crazy. Okay, I will give you all a minute. Holiday does end at the end of this month in December. Next month. Well, see, I keep telling you, I'm already in my brain. It's already December 1st. Okay. So it almost forces you to slow down and detect all the flavor. I think you hit your target. See, and that's what it is. I really wanted something that was more relaxing. And I know that there were some people that are like, oh, it's Black Friday tea. It's going to be a black tea. But I wanted to do something a little more unusual. And the berries are really hard. One of the things is you'll notice there's a lot of volume of red. Here, I did bring this so you can kind of see all the colors. There's a lot of volume of red in there, and that's because when we have a freeze-dried fruit in there, what ends up happening is it is so light, it takes up so much volume, but it can be easily overpowered. So because really you're not getting a ton of the fruit in there, you're getting little bits, and so it's very easy for it to be completely overpowered in there. So I'm glad you detected it. All right, I don't see any other questions coming up. I am just double checking now, but if you come up with someone along the way, feel free to reach out. Other than that, I would say if you live anywhere near me, stay warm. Watch out for the potential 2 to 4 inches of snow we're supposed to get tonight to tomorrow. I don't know. We were supposed to get a whole bunch of snow and we didn't get it. I was disappointed. We did get some snow. I was happy, but I was disappointed because we didn't get a lot of snow. I love it. I love snow. I just don't like being cold. Kim says the berries make the color black and blue, so it plays on Black Friday theme. It does. It does. I love the blue purple color of that one. Your white tea in there definitely gets dyed with the fresh berries, but I really like that one. She can't get it to picture of her hats. Oh, yeah. It's it's um it's one of those things. It's just really fun. And then again, that one will end tomorrow, and then it won't be back until next year. So that will come back each year around for Black Friday weekend. I know a couple people ordered some, and they were like, I know it's not going to be around for a year, so I only have to order this much. But I take bribes. And my handy dandy assistant's like, I take bribes. So yeah. All right. Well, we'll see. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us this evening. Stay warm. I know that there's some more storms coming through, but everybody be safe and have a wonderful week. I will see you all next week.